Okay, now that we have the recipe master page all set up, we can go into the document and just allocate those pages. So I'm going to click back into the document on pages 4 and 5. And remember, in page 2 and 3 is our table of contents. So our first recipe spread is page 4 and 5. So I will just drag the recipe page over there. And this is how you'll go about all the recipes for the rest of the book. Takeaway preview mode. All you've got to do is first unlock everything. So just hold Shift Command and click, because these are all. And I'm not sure what happened to that running header. Sometimes when it's a master page, you've got to move it around a little bit. There we go. So the first thing we'll do is we will go and get the next recipe that we need. I've got all the text placed in an InDesign document behind here. So I'm just going to grab the entire next recipe, which is the filet mignon. Put it in here, and I'll just store it right here until I put the photo in. So here is our title and the prep time. So I'll put that in this box. Here is our ingredients. Put that in the left-hand box. Here is the directions, and then we'll put that in the right-hand box. And then all we have to do is get out our paragraph styles. This is our recipe name. I'm going to make width lowercase. And then I'm going to put prep time and then ingredients. This is the header that says ingredients and directions. And then these are all the ingredients. So I see a fraction right here. So I'm hoping that our ingredients text will work, and it does. Perfect. And it looks like we're missing a hard return after the filet mignon steak. So I'll put that in and we're good there. And then on the right, I'm going to, actually I'll just make everything directions text first, and then I'll make that the header. There we go. All set to go. And then on the left side, I'll get rid of this temporary text box that I put the text in, unlock the photo box, and place the photo text. And there we go. And if you wanted to break that, you could, like that. Now all you need to do is, and you can see our running header changes once the headline is changed for the recipe. So all you need to do now is go and do all the other recipes. Okay, we have put in all the recipes after going through and dragging them over from our master page recipe. And now we are ready to put in our table of contents, which goes right here. So again, it's tied to the title of each recipe. So let's go up here and set it up. We're going to go to table of contents, and you have lots of options here. The first option is you can decide what you want to title this table of contents page. I'm going to leave it table of contents. And then you can decide what style you want to apply to just that title. So let's make a new one. We'll call it TOC title. And we'll make it our Garamond, and let's make it a little bigger than that. How about 22 points? And of course we want it all caps. And we want a lot of tracking. So let's put in 200. And then our indent and spacing, we want it centered, and we want lots and lots of space after before the listing of the pages starts. And that's it. We'll say okay. So that's how the table of contents title is going to look. The whole table of contents is set up based on the recipe name, meaning that all the pages listed have this style applied. The style for the actual listing of the contents also needs to be set up. And we can call this TOC contents or TOC list. How about? And again, we want to put it in our Garamond Pro, and we want to make this a little smaller. Let's make this 10 point, and we're going to track it not quite as far out because we have long words here with the title. And we definitely want to put some spacing. So we want space in between each one. Let's try this. We can always revise this. Let's go 0.75. And we actually want to make this right aligned, and you'll see what I mean once it goes in. Okay, that's our list. Down here you have some options. One of the things, we want to make the text anchor in the source paragraph. That's where we get our list. And then we want to create PDF bookmarks. We want to remove any forced line breaks. That means that like in those recipe titles where it didn't fit and we had to force it to break, we don't want it to do that on the list. And that's it. That should work. And you'll see that it's immediately all loaded in your cursor. So I'll just drag this cursor to fill our margin. And there it is. Take a look, looks good. We can move this down a little bit. And that's our table of contents. When we export this to an EPUB, it will actually be linked to each of these titles. So the first way we're going to export this is as a fixed layout EPUB. We can go ahead and rasterize the first page since we have it sitting in our layout. If you had it sitting somewhere else, you could choose it, but we're going to rasterize the first page. Our multi-level TOC style is the one that we have. If you're exporting this and you want it to be viewable on a PC, you just need to add the applications that can view it in a PC. Here it is, there's our cover. Now, as we go to our table of contents, you'll see that these are connected, which is awesome, except it's not as useful as this table of contents up here, because this one's always available. So this can be read by anyone that has iBook, which is standard with the Mac. But there's a couple other ways that we could publish. So EPUB is one. A fixed layout EPUB would work, and I just showed you that. We could also print this as a booklet. We have 16 pages. I put in a back cover, a quick back cover design that puts us at 16 pages. You have to be divisible by 4. And also this has been set up so that it is half of an 8.5 by 11 page. So that's the other thing that's required. But what you do is you go to print booklet, and we want to print all the pages, 2 up saddle stitch, and then we get to actually preview it, and it looks good. And what this does is this arranges all the pages in printer spreads, meaning that once you fold the pages into each other and staple it, it will read like a reader spread. And the only other thing that you need to set up is on the printer layout. So we go to printer, medium quality, go to layout, and you want to put this as 2-sided on the short edge binding. That way it'll fold correctly. And then you just say okay and print, and that will print a nice little booklet. So now you have a fixed EPUB or a booklet. The last thing you could do, other than just exporting it as a straight up PDF print pages, is you could print this to blurb. You could print it as a book. So what you'd need to do if you did that is you need to create the cover, which is this plus the spine plus the back. And that needs to be either in a separate file, or you can add a page here and set it up there. But you need the cover with the spine and the back, and you need to add some pages so that you get the minimum pages for blurb, and you can go on there. So there you go. It's a recipe book that can be an EPUB fix, a printed book with a spine and a cover, or a booklet, or just a straight PDF.